Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Sama Sales Circuit Music and Art. I'm Derek Mazzoni. I'm your host. Thanks for being here. Hopefully wherever you are in the world, it's fine. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's summer. So that adds a little hopefulness to the air. And I'm hoping wherever you may be, you are partaking of that. We are slowly here coming out of the pandemic, and theoretically it could be the roaring 20s again. I'm looking forward to that. As I often said before, Sama started as a way to create concerts in the Pacific Northwest where we're based. COVID, of course, made that impossible for a while. So we've been doing these live streams, and we've been focusing on artists literally from all over the world. We are in North America, and I also want to focus on our amazing neighbors to the north, Canada. And Canada actually has one of my favorite cities on the planet, and that is Montreal, which has a really interesting music scene, all types of genres, but it has a really strong folk music scene and traditional music scene of we'll go more into about this with the artists themselves. This is a Skye Consort and Emma Björling, who perform transatlantic arrangements of songs and tunes from Sweden, Norway, Ireland, Scotland, England, Québec, Acadia, and the USA, as well as original compositions. Each musician brings their own individual interpretations to these traditions to create this extraordinary collaboration consisting of voice, fiddle, nyckelharpa, which looks awesome, cello, bouzouki, banjo, and percussion. An assortment of whirling, polskas, groovy reels, passionate love songs, breathtaking hymns, and original compositions. Today, we have Amanda Kesmat, who's the cello and vocals. She was also a member of Lenaf, which was the origin story of Skye Consort and Emma Björling, and also Sean Dagger, who plays sitar, bouzouki, banjo, and vocals, and he is the artistic director of Lenaf and an active performer, arranger, composer, and of music from various folk and classical musical traditions. Now, it's been a pandemic, and often in the past, artists would just show up on stage. People would know about them, and I'd be like, hello, welcome, and we're going to start performing for you. We're in a small screen here, and I've asked everybody to give me some B-roll. B-roll, if you don't know what the term for it is, like the stuff that's not A-roll, which is you and I talking right now, but stuff of people's lives, things that are going on, driving footage, wherever it may be. And Sean gave us some great B-roll. So here's Sean, and then we're going to meet the band, hear some music, and have a great time on Sama.
Hi guys, I'm Sean. Just sitting here with my trusty Foley bouzouki, the modified headstock after a bad accident. Thinking about this song I haven't sung in a long time. The Hills of Green Moor, whatever. Yeah. One fine summer's morn, my own I did blow to the green fields of Katy. For hours we didn't go. We gathered our dogs and we circled around, for none loves the sport better than the boys in the dell. And when we arrived, they were all standing there. We set off for the fields, boys, in search of the hare. And we didn't get far till someone gave the cheer. Over high hills and valleys, this weep was did steer. As we flew over the hills, it was a beautiful sight. There was dogs black and yellow, there was dogs black and white. Now she took the black bang for to try them once more. Oh, it was her last look over the hills of Green Moor. I left my pick upstairs. So that's what I do here, you know. So with the Skye Consort and Emma Björling, we're working on a whole repertoire of new songs for our spring 2020 tour, which is being postponed. We have some French songs and Scandinavian songs and Celtic songs and Acadian songs from French Canada from the East Coast. So that's what we're doing, and I'm going to be playing bouzouki and shruti box. We got shruting here. I don't know if you guys have seen the shruti box. Let me put this down. One fine summer's morn, my horn I did blow to the green fields of Katy. For hours we didn't go. And the nice thing about shruti box is you can decorate it. That's the band I was in when I was a teenager. Some stickers I got at Folk Alliance. Really nice postage stamp I found. And my shruti box. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting back out on the road and putting the band back together and seeing all you guys. So thanks for following along, and we'll see everyone really soon. Can't believe we played it.
Hey guys, that was lovely.
Thanks.
Welcome, Amanda. Welcome, Sean.
Hi. Nice
You're
to be
working
here.
on getting the band back together.
We got to do that spring 2020 tour.
You got to bring to the spring 2020 tour. You haven't done that for a while, and I know a little bit about the scene that you're part of, and it is very. There's a lot of people that really care for each other, and they really want to play together. It's like I've been to one big show, and they actually in the green room they have like, please no jamming. And there's a reason for that. But you guys you've been away from that for a while, and there's a certain aspect of that. The music that you play is that it was meant to be played together, and there's an audience there, and they're participating. And this is one of the things that I find interesting in your musical, in this multiple genre, is that it's kind of complete when people are playing together and the audience is participating. If it's just you, it's fine, but it's not the thing. It doesn't. It's kind of like, it's like pasta without sauce. It's like I can eat it, but it's not quite. It doesn't really give me that. So, it's been a tough chunk of time. How have you been coping with that? And more importantly, what do you think you might have learned from this year and a half that might play into how you're making and performing music in the future? An easy one.
Well, for Skye Consort and Emma Björling, this project, we did start out at the beginning of the pandemic sort of sending back and forth ideas of arrangements, and we would record something here. We have the luxury of living together, so that helps, and then would send it off to Alex or to Emma, and they could add things or chop things up and change things around and send it back. And then eventually we just thought, okay, we've gone maybe as far as we can with this without actually being back together in the same room. We came up with a lot of good ideas, but I think to gel it all together, we really just need to be together.
Yeah, I remember thinking at one point there was some song that wasn't coming together, and we sort of knew, like, if we could just all be in the same room for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
this would be so easy. It would be over. That we'd have the thing figured out, So that's something we learned about.
So we learned that we could do something. We could put something together, and it sounded like something, and it could serve as a tool. But we also learned that we didn't want to release that as it was without being together first, to make sure that it made more sense on a deeper level.
Okay.
And another thing I learned is I didn't realize how much of an integral part of the music the audience was, as you were just saying, like playing music, like I was, that song I was playing in the B-roll, that's fun, and that's good, but like you say, it's having no one to be there with you in that moment. Mm-hmm. It's like, why would I do this? I know I can sing the song. I know what I sound like. nobody needs to hear it. I mean, I don't need to hear this again, right now. So I did come to realize how much the audience meant, and there were substitutes for that too. Like I was putting out some stuff on YouTube, and people commenting on that actually did the same thing, did the same role of having an audience.
Okay, perfect. Let's hear some music. This is going to be. Let's start with Cast Iron Stove. Is that cool?
I love it.
Okay.
Where the winter blizzards blow and the whaling fleet's at rest, tucked beneath harbor's sheltered bay, safely anchored 10 abreast, there's the whalemen at their station, as from shed to shed they row. Carry bags and go with them, and an old cast iron stove in the cold dark engine room, where the chill seeps in your soul. How we huddled round that cast iron stove that burned only rags and coal. Fireman Paddy works with me on the engine stiff and cold. A stranger to the truth was he, there's not a lie he hasn't told. Oh, he's boasted of his gold mines and the hearts that he had won, but his body sense of humor shone just like a ray of sun in the cold dark engine room, where the chill seeps in your soul. Ah, we huddled round that cast iron stove that burned holy rags and coal. We live it 7 days a week, with icy hands and frozen feet, bitter days and lonely nights, making grog and having fight. There's salted fish, there's whale meat sausage, there's fresh penguin eggs a treat. We struggle on to work each day through icy wind and sleet. Then one day we see the sun, we see the factory ship return, you see your old friends and you sing a song. You hope the journey wasn't long, but it's homeward bound and it's over as we leave this icy cold. But I always will remember that old cast iron stove in the cold dark engine room, where the chill sleeps in your soul. How we huddled round that cast iron stove that burned holy rags and coal. In the cold dark engine room, where the chill sleeps in your soul. How we huddled round that cast iron stove that burned holy rags and coal. How we huddled round that cast iron stove that burned holy rags and coal.
All right. Skye Consort Emma Björling. I'm here with Amanda. Am I pronouncing your name? Kismat? Kesmat?
Sure, Kismet, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Totally see how the connection between everybody working and the audience was lovely. How did you guys get into this? What was the thing? What's the origin story? Not so much of the band, but like you, like, hey, I want to do that.
I started playing folk music when my mom was from Edinburgh, and forced me to listen to all this Scottish stuff and Irish stuff when I was a kid, and I spent a lot of time over there when I was a kid. But then I was hanging out. I was 18 or 19 or something, and hanging out in an Irish pub, having a couple of Guinness, like Guinness, and at the end of the night, the barman, he took the money that I had given him, and he gave it almost directly to the musician who was playing that night. And I was like, hang on. There's something wrong. I can do that. So next time I went down, I brought a pad and paper and I made a list of songs that Buddy played, and I went and learned them, a lot of them, and started getting gigs, and I was terrible. But I kept going, and then jam sessions, and that's how I got into folk music. And then Alex was also playing on the same sort of pub scene in Montreal. But then Alex was also doing Baroque violin at McGill, where Amanda was doing Baroque cello.
Yeah. So I'm kind of the anomaly in the band because I'm more of all of the shows that I play usually are like classical music shows. I play in a Baroque orchestra here. Mm-hmm. And so I'm the big, I have the big imposter syndrome about the the folk music scene, but that's sort of what makes it a little bit of a different band too, because we have like a lot of elements to throw in there. But yeah, so
you
I
got
just
some chops.
No, the folk music scene here has lots of chops. Let me tell you, it's definitely hard to keep up.
Okay.
Or I just don't. I'm no man to keep
No,
up.
but you can play all the notes. Like she knows almost every note on the cello.
One day I'll keep practicing. But yeah. So Alex, like as Sean said, Alex and I were at McGill together. So we started playing this project with sort of a crossover idea, and it was more than 20 years ago.
Yes.
Now,
yeah.
with a countertenor, and since then we've had a gazillion projects, but this last one with Emma is
the right one.
Yeah, right.
It's like we were auditioning singers for 17 years, and then then we got Emma. No, it's been great doing projects with all different singers, and that's been one of the fun things is that we did a sort of with Michael Slattery, an Irish tenor style, crooner style. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. You can edit that out if it's bad. And then
why is crooner bad?
I don't know. I don't know if you would like that, but I said it.
Maybe not. No.
Anyway, whatever.
I wish I could croon. I mean,
Michael is fantastic. He's got the best voice, and he's the best musician. And the record we did with him, I mean, it's kind of an embarrassing story, but he would get it right every time. The recording, and we would just keep doing takes until the band got it right.
Yeah, he's such a fabulous musician.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And we did a kind of more medieval album.
There's this tradition of poetry. The French one, the French medieval.
Medieval.
Yeah, we called that one "Greatest Hits of the Second Millennium." And people, I got a critic saying, actually most of the songs were, and I was like, guys, it's a joke.
we did an album with Miranda Mulholland, who's in a lot of cool bands.
Yeah. We did an album of Welsh songs
with the classical soprano Shannon Mercer.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crossover.
There's a
projects.
lot. You're not bored. You're not like.
No, it's amazing.
You don't have a crutch. You're actually exploring and evolving.
Yeah.
And is there enough? I mean, Montreal's a great town. We were just talking about this. The winters are deadly.
Yeah.
So what keeps you? I mean, it's home, so I get it. But is there enough? Let's imagine next year.
Yeah.
Pandemic passed, everybody's back. Is there enough? Is there enough support for you guys to keep gigging, to make it home? To you don't have to go to LA. Is Montreal the place where you're actually able to studio time, artists, musicians, inspiration? Is it the thing?
Do you mean for this particular project band?
Yeah, or just in general. Like it seems like you're as I said, you don't have a crutch, so you could do classical, you could do folk, you guys could explore all types of traditions here.
We're really lucky in Quebec that the Quebec Arts Council supports artists and arts organizations extensively, for projects that we do here and for touring.
And for going abroad,
and that spreads into everything, like the classical projects that Amanda plays, but also the folk like, I'm not saying everything is directly funded by the Arts Council, but the fact that the Arts Council is there sort of greases the wheels of everything happening, and lots happens.
Okay.
And we also have the Canada Council for the Arts and Factor, the fund for recording arts, which Skye Consort and Emma Björling project has benefited from greatly. Those three
Awesome.
programs,
Yeah. So those are like 3 government sponsored programs, but I think that they, the money that they inject into this industry, it doesn't end up in offshore accounts, and we don't have yachts, so we spend every penny of it, on beer after the rehearsal. So it really is an injection, a stimulus into the industry. But it makes everything happen, and it makes it be that there's a critical mass of artists in Montreal and in Quebec. That's there's always something happening.
Okay. Is
We
it
feel very
hard to
lucky.
get that money? Is it hard to, because this conversation comes up in anytime I'm dealing with other presenters, shall we say, in Europe or Canada, and here there really isn't. National Endowment for the Arts. There's a little bit of money from the state and the city, but it's a trickle, and so you're finding other ways to make money. It's like, I'm not saying one is better than the other. Yours is better. Because there's more of it spread around, but it's still a process to get that. Like, how do you?
Yeah,
The competition must be nuts.
Especially this year, the competition is nuts, because as soon as it was March 2020, everybody had time to do grant applications, so they got a little overwhelmed, and like quickly switching their programs to incorporate online stuff, and it was challenging, I guess.
It is nuts, and the competition is hard, and even people who've been in the industry as long as we have, like, you get 25 or 40% of the applications you do, but you do them, and we have CVs now that we're not kids out of school saying like, oh, I hope to make a career. Like, we have CVs that show that we are going to put the resources to good use and have a record of professional quality projects out there. So
Got it. No yachts for you,
alas.
One day.
I want to save for a canoe, though. I've got a penny here.
I want to go deeper into the music and audience. I think we tapped into a nice little thing I want to explore, because Samas is celebrating music with intention, and there is, like, even that initial song, the cast iron stove, it's community. It's just like, it's so vivid. I get it. Blizzards, huddling together with your crew, with your family, songs. But let's go to the next song right now on Sama.
Var det du eller var det jag som gick i dansen så bra? Var det du eller var det jag som gick i dansen så bra? Vi super och vi
right. Skye Consort Emma Björling. She's got chops. That's nice.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
she's
her-
amazing.
Yeah.
How did she lives in Montreal with you guys?
No, she lives in
No.
Denmark.
Yeah.
She lives in Denmark. Okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
we're tapping through her into the whole Scandinavian feel. Like she's just comes with a wealth of knowledge and energy and
Contacts.
drive.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was that song about? Do you know?
That was a dance song. It was just come dance, let's dance.
Let's dance together.
It was
yeah.
like the boogie boogie.
Was
dance,
it you
dance.
or was it me?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's right. That's what the song's called. Was it you or was it me that made the dance be so awesome?
Yeah.
Ah.
And she
I
just
like that.
repeats the text 2 times, I think. And
Yeah, it's just the same text over and
same,
over,
yeah.
and it's really about getting people up and dancing.
I know that feeling. What is when you guys are playing, and this might be in the wrong question, but I'm not exactly. I think it might be. What are you trying to get the audience to feel? Because this is interesting music with legacy, with heritage. You know, we're talking about come dance. We're talking about cast iron stoves. We're talking about a range of cultures: Norway, Sweden, Acadia, Québec. All of them are very unique in themselves. So what are you trying to share? What are you trying to present when you're playing, and what do you want the audience to kind of walk away with?
I just like presenting little capsules, little anecdotes. Like, hey, check out this story from the South Pacific whalers, and we're gonna try and tell the story as effectively and efficiently as possible. Tell it like a not like a joke and that this silly, but tell it with the right setup and the right denouement of facts, and then the right punchline, so that it itself is like, wow, okay, we did it. We told that story in a way that is going to have an impact on people, and then you put the set together as like a series of anecdotes.
What about you, Amanda?
I don't know. For me, I was thinking the difference is the sound, like from the stage when you're looking out. Often as a classical musician, you see people are very concentrated or very maybe they're teary, maybe they're moved, but playing this kind of music, people are moving, or they're clapping, or they want to be dancing, and they can also be moved. So I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But the question is about motivation for what repertoire?
Not so much motivation, but it's this is music for an audience. Like, we started the conversation. It's like it's not quite finished until there's an audience. So I'm just curious. Is like, what are you trying to? It's almost like cuisine. I'm having a big dinner. I want you to eat this first, this first, this first. Like, I had this really funny situation with my 11-year-old. I made this pasta dish, and it was delicious, and it was perfect. And then she's like, you know what I want? I want chocolate milk with this pasta. And I was like, no. No. It's like, what's wrong? It's like, it doesn't go. It's like, but I think it goes. And, it was one of those, like, teaching moments to myself. It was like, I could just go fall on my sword. This, like, I want you to have this particular, she's not going to drink wine, obviously, but have water. You're not going to have this with this. But then as a parent, you're like, do I really want to have this battle right now? Is it really worth it? No, it's not worth it. But as a musician, it's like Sean, you were talking about this. It's a story. You want to tell the story about the South Pacific whalers. It's like, okay, so, there's a way to tell a story. I'm not saying that every single song, it's not like a perfect set list. You might want to be inspired by, it's time for this song or that song. But you are telling stories, and you are presenting that in a troubadourian kind of way. I don't know if that's a word for it. So I'm just curious, is like, now that you're going back to an audience, and that audience is going to be freaking hungry. Like, I'm already seeing stuff. People, as soon as they walk, I'm thinking about this. As soon as they walk in, they tear up.
Yeah, I'm buying a new tip jar. We're going to make it killer.
For the
Way
canoe.
to be practical. Way to be practical.
It's for the canoe. We're saving for the
canoe. No, I think the arrangements in all the music that I do, but especially in this project, it's the arrangements that tell the story, right? Because in that last one, it was the same text 3 times, and it's all about let's dance. This it's not Shakespeare, but to make it last, the length of the song, and to build it up and bring it down, like that's the arrangement, and that's one of the wonderful tools we have in this band with cello, nyckelharpa, voice, shruti box, sitar, and voices. Like we have a lot of tools to make a lot of different combinations of sounds, and to find the right combination of sounds, and then the right combinations of sounds to make the song, the arrangement. That's the storytelling.
And to pick the right songs too. Like we often start with a stack of songs and sort of go through, and in creating the album that we did, play through a bunch of them, and like what speaks to us, what seems to fit best, and why. And then we pick our favorites to work on harder, So right, like.
Best way to support you is Bandcamp right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, everything's there?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get a link on that. The instruments behind you. So Sama is Seattle Sacred Music and Art, the art aspect, the artisanal aspect. Do you we're talking about the Nickelvox and the bouzouki and others. Do you know the people that make your instruments, or is it more like I'm going to the shop and get this instrument and make that?
I think we know them.
Well, you're very attached to your...
My bouzouki that I showed in the other thing, yeah. Like I went to meet this guy, Joe Foley, in Dublin when I was living there in '98. I met him in his kitchen, and we had tea, and he just like showed me instruments he was making, and I knew other people who had them, and so I ordered one.
Okay.
And
is that part of the story? He's a luthier, right? If you're making a bouzouki, still a luthier, or is it another word for it?
No,
okay. So is that part of the story of this music? Is that is it at the beginning, like the person who makes it, and you buy it, and then you create it, and you create music with it, or is it that not it? Am I making it up?
For me, my relationship with this instrument is it starts with that, with meeting the maker, a couple of years before this instrument existed.
Meeting your maker.
Yeah.
What about you, Amanda, and your cello?
The cello that I use for this project is made in America, by a guy called Peter Stazel, and from the William Harris Lee shop in, I don't know where that is actually.
Chicago?
And I just bought it when I was in university, and I needed an instrument. So when you're looking for a cello that you want to sound good, if you want an old instrument, you can pay so much money, and when you're a younger person, you just don't have that kind of money, right? So I was trying these instruments that were $40,000-$50,000, but were maybe not, maybe a little bit like heavy on the upkeep because they were like older instruments. And I just bought a brand new modern instrument from America, like from the States, made.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't regret it. It's a great accent. I actually have I think I sold a cello, so I have 7 cellos.
Wow.
So
okay.
because I play baroque cello and basse de violon and other things, so they're all by different makers, but it's more about the instruments and how they sound than about who made it. Anyway, for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to close with one more song, but I want to say first of all, thank you for doing this.
Can I just say one more thing about the instruments? Alex's nickelharpa that he was playing there.
Oh, yeah.
I think he met that maker at a couple of festivals or camps or something, and decided on that one. So for him, that's a really important part of it.
Yeah, but we went to Sweden on a tour, and he got to go see him, right?
No, he got to go see the maker who's making his next instrument.
Who's making his next instrument, and then he got a bow, and he it was really exciting for Alex to be in Sweden for that.
I want to tell that story because I think that's intriguing. Because that's not something that I could be wrong, but do you go to your guitar shop and it's right there?
No,
or is it
no.
something?
No, you order it, and maybe 3 or 4 years later, it's ready.
But he got the Mora harpa, and then we drove through Mora. So we have a picture of him at the Mora. You can find that picture.
Yeah.
He's a Mora train station. He's sitting on near the rail and says Mora, and he's got his Mora harpa, which is like this kind of little nickel harpa that
it's like a cross between a nickel harpa and a ukulele.
Wow, you guys go deep. This is awesome.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I look forward to catching you live. Okay, so you're gonna go on tour, obviously.
Yeah.
We hope so.
What's the? It's gonna happen, and it will. Just get ready. Bring that velvet tip jar. You're gonna need it.
Canoe fund.
And the other part is records and videos. So I'm curious within this space. So I'm a DJ. I work on a radio, club DJ per se, and it's been an interesting thing because I just digitized my entire CD library, which wasn't small. All those CDs right now are in my garage, and now I'm getting vinyl, I'm getting digital, and I'm getting videos being sent to me, and I get that with particular genres, but I'm still getting CDs from artists within your genre space. And I'm trying to tell people, it's like, it's a weird time because you do have an audience. It's like, what's wrong with a CD? A CD's great. And it's just like, yes, I get, but a record would be really much better. But it becomes, this is a longer conversation about, of course, privilege, access to technology, but the actual thing itself, when I'm walking, if I go to your show and I'm walking away with something and I want a memory of that, what are you guys going to do with this thing? What do you, like with Bandcamp, it's downloads, I guess it's record. How do you how are you going to survive? How are you going to prosper and grow in this space? I don't have to throw that at you as we're leaving. It's like, but it's this interesting transition space right now within
we were selling
streaming.
We were selling download codes, like barcodes, to Bandcamp.
That works great.
Yeah, as long as people don't think that they're free and take them, which happens.
Yeah.
But selling the code where you scan it and it gets right on your phone or your computer or whatever.
And people are willing to pay for that.
They are.
Yeah.
They're willing to pay for T-shirts.
Yeah. Oh my God, we should do T-shirts with the download code. But people are still buying the music. They're just using a different technology.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys going to make CDs?
Yeah. So I'm working on another project right now, and I'm not making any CDs. It's just going to be a digital release. I don't know if that's going to be like, I don't know. But what I don't want is boxes and boxes and boxes of CDs in our house, because we have lots of CDs in our house that are just. I know. And you're like, here, have my CD, and people are like, oh, listen.
I don't have anything to play this on.
I don't. Yeah. I'm like, don't you have one in your car? And they're like, oh yeah, I think in my like teenager's car from like that we gave to them. Like, they might have a CD. Okay, I'll take it. You know, like, no, I don't want to make any. I don't want to produce.
It's done.
Thousands of shiny plastic.
If you could do it economically, where you could, do like a run of 100 or something for some of from the older people at the concerts, and then do another 100 when you needed them. But this printing 500 or 1,000, like,
no, it's crazy. It just becomes because you have to hold on to it. But records are interesting.
Yeah, vinyl. Yeah, vinyl.
Saturday is record store day, and people are willing to take more risks on records. It's become, I don't know, I can't equate it. It's just like bizarro world because, boxing all these CDs, they were my identity. Like, and I dropped some serious coin, like imports and stuff. It's like, whoa. Yeah. But now, and the only reason I'm bringing this up is that I'm intrigued how you will apply this to, as musicians in this space.
We haven't talked about making vinyl records, but that's maybe cool idea.
Yeah. Like
our teenage daughter who's 18 and she just moved into her own apartment and she has a record player, right?
Same. My kids too. They're like, records, awesome.
Yeah.
Our records are great. We'll see how it goes. All right, awesome. Thanks for the time. This has been great. Amanda,
thank you.
Sean.
Nice to meet you, Derek. Thanks for having us.
I look forward to actually meeting in real person.
Yeah, and I'll give you a big hug.
Ditto. Yeah. Back at you, and I'll see you in Montreal.
Yes.
And continue creating great work and continue sharing this beautiful, vibrant music.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Peace. Bye.
Om berg och dalar det kunde tala och det talar vi Om berg och dalar det kunde tala och det tala vill med mig. Men berg och dalar talar icke, inga vittner får det där. Hopp, shara, shuntrarara, shuntrarari-olej. Men husker du den där gång i lunden, husker du vad du lovde där? Husker du den där gång i lunden, husker du vad du lovde där? Aldrig var jag med i lunden, aldrig lovt i något där. Hopp, shara, shuntrarara, shuntrarali-olej. Men husker du den där gång i båten då vi fiskegarna drog? Husker du den där gång i båten då vi fiskegarna drog? Aldrig var jag med i båten, aldrig fiskegarna drog. Hopp, shara, shuntrarara, shuntrarali-olej. Men kom och se din mun och näsa, kom och kyss ditt eget barn. Kom och se din mun och näsa, kom och kyss ditt eget barn. Aldrig kysser jag någon unge, kyssen den som jorden har. Hopp, shara, shuntrarara, shuntrarali-olej.